today is we've been making use of the warmth indoors. I'm all dressed up ready to go back out to the shed. I just wanted to show you this first. I've been doing a bit of restoration work on some of the terraced card kits that came off my very first layout that I tried building. Usual pitfalls, didn't really work out, but I didn't want to just throw these away. I prized them off the baseboard of that a while ago. That was the subject of a recycling article that appeared in one of the Model Rial magazines. But these are what I pulled off that. And what I found is a lot of the windows have fallen in because either the sellotape has gone dry and brittle through incorrect storage, or more usually I found I've actually used the wrong type of glue to glue them on, and as the glue's dried out it's become dry and brittle and the windows have fallen back into the building. So we've had to use a very sharp craft knife to be able to very carefully cut the glue bonds to take the roofs off to get access to the inside of the houses to do that. I've done that, fixed all the windows. Luckily all the windows had remained within the building, so we didn't lose any of the windows. Otherwise we'd have had to have gone through the scrap box to see what spare parts we could muster to fix that problem. And then we've glued the roofs back on using a similar type of glue to what the kits were originally built with. As you can see, they're here on a board. This board is actually going to be part of a raised section out in the shed layout, with Bradshawgate tunnel going underneath, and these will form part of the Bradshawgate Road on top. It's not what was it is still there on Bradshawgate, but I'm using what I have. I don't want to spend a lot of money, and the whole point of Bolton Trinity Road is it's giving a suggestion. It's not meant to be rivet perfect. I've also put together the last few bits from one of the Metcalfe signal box kits. We discussed the signal box adaptation in a previous video where we put two signal box kits together to make one longer signal box. Those kits came with a variety of little sheds and huts. And I've built this, and this is going to go in the Barron Street carriage siding area to represent some of the huts that were there. Some still are there, although the sidings have long gone. So we're going to tool up and go out to the shed and get cracking on final positioning of these and make sure that everything just fits in there. It's going to go over here. If you want to come a little bit closer there, you can see that we've already positioned and screwed and glued these legs. They've all been cut to exactly the same height, making sure that there's ample headroom for the trains to pass underneath. So all that's left to do is we've got the piece of wood cut. This is just another offcut of the wood that we used in the baseboard, so we haven't bought anything new here. I've already prepared all of the retaining walls and the girder there. So what we're going to do now is a final positioning. We're going to make sure that this all fits fairly square, which it does. We're not actually gluing anything down right at this moment. It's really just about fitting things in, making sure that everything's in the right position. There's no point in trying to put everything in as quickly as possible. With model railways, just like any other building project, there's a lot of putting it together with a dry dummy run, taking it apart, adjusting something, putting it together, checking everything fits. And it's a lot like that, because if we make a mistake at this stage through hurrying, we're going to regret it later on, and it may even mean that we end up, the worst case scenario, we have to destructively remove something, which we really don't want. So there we are, it all fits. We're having the row of terraced houses, we're going to be having at an angle to the actual piece of wood that we've cut. The whole purpose of this is to break up the symmetry. If you have everything at 90-degree angles, it doesn't look real, it looks very false. So we've cut this piece of wood at an angle. We're going to have the tunnel coming at an angle, and so the houses, that they will be at 90 degrees to the back seam, but that'll be hidden by the fact that everything else is at this 10-degree angle to the upright. And that's when the road surfaces and the pavement surfaces all go in. That's going to contribute to making this look more natural than it would otherwise be, because it's one of the big pitfalls of model making is to have everything at regimental 90-degree angles, and the real world just isn't like that.